Men don't lead by desire. We lead by expectation. It is expected of the men inside of a relationship or marriage to ultimately ascend to the leadership role. And the way we take care of things will naturally place us in that role. So please understand that it is not us walking around saying, I am king, put me in charge. It is your expectations as women that put us in charge ultimately.
When you look for a man, do you look for like a man that's kind of like equally your same size, that you're like equally intelligent, equally financially solvent? Do you try and hit like every metric and be even with him?
Even the weight?
That too.
Not
shit.
necessarily.
Physical
What do you
strength.
look for? A larger or a smaller man?
Wait, you're talking about physically?
Oh, not yeah, I worded that wrong. So someone you think would be a better version, like that's why I use larger, smaller. So like taller, more intelligent, make more money than you, uh, higher muscle density. Do you look for that type of man, or a man that's shorter than you, weighs less than you, is less intelligent than you, makes less money than you?
Yes. Like I've dated both
What?
in
Okay,
all categories.
So you don't mind in either way. You just date whoever is right at the time.
If I'm attracted, then we vibe on some level, and usually people are gonna be, at various levels in each category. So yeah, I'm not gonna look for a guy who is ahead of the game from me, from where I'm at in every category.
You said you're not going to, or you are? I didn't. You're not.
No.
What if he's unemployed but he's emotionally stable and emotionally intelligent?
Yeah, I'd have a conversation with that guy.
No, not a conversation. Will you be with him?
I would consider it.
No, will you be with him?
If he's the right person for me, sure.
And he plans on not working.
That'd be a conversation, maybe. Yeah.
Can I ask a question though? And JR, I actually want you to answer it.
Oh,
If
wow.
you
I'm willing to answer too. If you
Okay.
try to get a male's perspective, I'm willing to answer.
Yeah, I really do. So we have been talking about men being leaders, right? Leadership in a relationship, right? And a man leading his wife. And so when you're picking, right, a partner that you potentially going to marry, right? You're looking at things that you are, I guess, what people say equally yoked, like you're having the same values. They might be having the same vision, things that you guys are going to be able to work on together, right? All of those things are, we'll say, being equal in terms of you can see the puzzle pieces fitting together in terms of your life and the direction that you're going to go. What are you leading, I guess? What is it that you need to lead an adult, I guess, in
So I'll answer for myself.
I would like the guys to just I'm curious, just because I'm trying to understand that concept. I'm trying to understand that concept, and I know people are like, oh, she married, what do you I think about that, and I think I regurgitate that because that's the way that I was raised. But in terms of my true understanding of that, I think my husband teaches me. I'm not necessarily sure if he leads me. You understand what I'm saying? So because I'm trying to think about like leading. What does he? I'm an adult. There's things that I don't necessarily know, and he fills in those gaps, and I respect him. So I listen to him, right? But I'm trying to think about in terms of leading. We discuss things and we agree and we move in that same direction. So I just came to that like question. And so I was just trying to get some clarification on that.
Go ahead, Marcus. You said you wanted to answer. I'll let you answer first.
So in regards to like with my household, an example, like, so first and foremost is every man should be leading their own household. Right? So that can manifest itself in directions at school. So they want to teach LGBTQ stuff to the kids. My wife is on board with my plan on that. That's not acceptable for our children to be moving forward.
But we're both in agreement. Yeah.
When she comes in, and so my daughter get her school progress or whatever, right? Every single day, she'll read through it, look at it, then bring it to me. Then I'll address if the punishment need to be dealt out based on how my daughter was acting. We're gonna support each other. If she punishes her, I'm gonna stand on her punishment, right? So it's not like she can't do or say anything I have any say. But the general direction, mentally, physically, spiritually, that the household is moving in is in accord with how I want to see things go. And she signed up to that happily. And even if she doesn't understand, she'll still go with it because she trusts me. So if you ask her, there's not a time where I ever was not leading in a relationship. I don't think she would respond. I should have called in here, but yeah, it'll never be a time where she would say that I'm not leading. So it's always been prevalent. So like how you say you can't figure out when he's leading you, so I'm on the reverse side of that. I don't think she could figure out or give a time when she felt that I wasn't.
Well, I didn't say leading.
If I got you incorrect, I apologize from what I thought.
So when I'm thinking of leading, like for instance, in a classroom, clearly I would say I'm the leader in that classroom because everybody in that class, I'm taking them in a specific direction. I have standards that I know I would have to teach, and is that is my job, is a clear thing, right? I guess for me, what I'm saying is like what you said. Him and I, we discuss things in terms of, like you said, the direction in terms of how the kids are going to be raised. Those are conversations. We happen to agree that we both agree about the way the kids are raised, right? You talked about LGBTQ. We are on the same page about that. I guess what I'm looking like when you say lead, I'm thinking about follow the leader kind of thing. So all of our principles, our morals, our values are on the same page. So I guess that's where the confusion is for me. Stuff that
so mistaken. If they were not on the same page, we would become on the same page because she's gonna trust me to get on that page. So she has apprehension, and I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. So an example like with the child watching it first. I wanted to do something different, right? And the situation didn't end up positive. It actually backfired. I made sure I tried to make that situation right. You know what I'm saying? Never was no anger or no, you said it. It was just shit. I made a decision. It didn't turn out how I wanted it to. Okay, well, this is what I'm gonna do to rectify that. You know what I'm saying? And it was a based on the history of me making that decision. I let my emotions get in the way of my relationship with my mom and thought maybe I can get something that wasn't on the table in regards to that. So I ended up having to be filling in the gap. I could have said, hey, you fill in the gap, you couldn't do XYZ, but I didn't do that because I know I made this decision and I bore the brunt of the consequences based off of it. Did that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So
I guess it's just different because there are scenarios in which I definitely I think was it I forgot her name.
Ari.
Like there's a lot of situations in which he's just takes the lead on because I just don't know, right? And he, of course, was like, I fall back because I'm not going to interject something I know that I have no clue, no direction, whatever. Then there are other things that he trusts me to take the lead on because that might be my area of expertise, and then I'm more knowledgeable. And he gives me the reins to go ahead and just be like, "You got that. That's you handle that." So that's
I think
why I'm like, okay, like